Listen, if it's one thing that I'm pretty sure we're all aware of is that life is out here moving fast, okay? It's a lot going on. We got society telling us what we should be doing, we should be, all while we're still trying to figure ourselves out. But you know what we can do? We can be mindful of where we are in this present moment and take small steps towards becoming better by the day and towards reaching our God-given purpose. So let's figure it out and work through it together. Welcome to Mindful Moments, y'all. A space where we talk it out, laugh it out, cry it out, hash it out. Listen, just get it all out, okay? This is a safe space for you, where we talk about the ups, the downs, even the in-betweens. A place where we go through it so we can grow through it. Tune in every week as we fill our minds with who we're destined to be, with positivity, with awareness, and honestly, just with love. So I encourage you, let's be mindful of today in hopes for, yes, a better you, but also in hopes for a better tomorrow. Again, welcome to Mindful Moments. Welcome back to another episode of Mindful Moments. I'm your host, Jada Lowe. If this is your first time tuning in, thank you for watching or listening. This is a podcast where we merge our faith in God, relationships, mental health, our physical well-being, our overall well-being, where we just explore the intersectionality of it all to be a better us for a better tomorrow. You feel me? And for my people that's back, y'all already know how we gets down. We do not tarry over here at the Mindful Moments camp, baby, because it's like I tell people who normally listen, I extremely dislike it when I'm listening to like story times and stuff and people take so long to get to it. I'm like, baby, now I got to put you on 2 times playback speed so we can get this ball rolling. So I don't tarry. So we're about to get into it. So what I want us to talk about for this episode is stepping into our better season, and not just stepping into it, but like acting like we deserve it. Granted, it's by God's grace and mercy that we getting it. But at the same time, like if you know you want better, there's going to have to come a point where you act like you want better, where you're doing the things to where you're prepared to step into the better that you're asking God for. Yeah. And to where that effort meets what you're being prayerful about and where you want to go. And honestly, just not settling in general. Some of us may be in a place where you feel like you're settling, whether it's in like at your job or whatever it is that you're doing, or your relationships or your friendships, or even like how you treat yourself. Like there's a possibility that you're just settling, and it's time for you to do better in those areas too, whether it's being in your current relationship and being better in that relationship, or being in the current relationship and realizing that better means stepping away from that to experience a better relationship, stepping away from a job to have a better job, or getting better in the sense of promotion or commitments that you have and being better there, treating yourself better. All of the things, just better is the premise of this episode. So yeah, we're just going to talk about stepping into better, and not just that, but also like what comes with that is once you step into better and once you're transitioning to better, you also have to realize that you can't tolerate the things that you used to tolerate. You're now a better person. So the things that you used to tolerate in previous seasons, baby, that's not going to make the cut for this elevated season that we're in. So it's just about, in the sense of like being better spiritually and serving God better, in the sense of like being better children to him for those who do believe in Christ. Also not settling spiritually in your relationship with God. That's been one of the biggest things that I've been trying to work on. I feel like I've been in a space where I just haven't been diligent. I feel like I've been stagnant, but I also know that the stagnant space that I'm in is definitely not because of God. It's fully 100% because of me. Like I've been wanting to read my Bible more, haven't been doing it, and I've just been lazy, and I've just been stagnant, and I've been settling, and it's like I want to have a more intimate relationship with him of course, like, so you can hear from him to receive blessings and stuff, but also I want to be better and have a more intimate relationship with God, so I can know how to maneuver through life, because life is ghetto and life is raggedy. If it's one thing's for sure and two's for certain, life is going to be ghetto and raggedy at times. Not to take away from the beauty of it, life is beautiful, but I also know that I need for Jada Marie Lowe. I just told y'all my full government name. For me, I need God to be like, I can't even open my two eyelids without him. You think I'll be able to make it through the day? Like, I need to do better and act like, and part of acting like you deserve better and acting like you want the things that you're praying about, you have to honestly take action to a certain extent to be able to experience that better. So that's my spiel spiritually. And that honestly translates over into the other areas of my life too. So yeah, and just the other thing, not just not tolerating what's no longer for you, but not being afraid what God's taking you into. Because sometimes that better can be so big to where it can be daunting, and we're like, am I really ready for what I prayed for? But part of praying for it is like, he's equipped me to be able to, not just to be able to handle the blessing, but to also be able to handle the things that come with it. Because the bigger the blessing, honestly, I feel like the bigger the responsibility. So just knowing that you're equipped with those things and not being afraid to step into your better too. So you just have to recognize like your need for better. So it's like, how do I know if I deserve better, right? Like, for people who just don't know, I feel like sometimes you kind of get aggravated or agitated or just frustrated, and like there's always a nagging feeling of like, not just that things could get better, but I could be better. And it's just like a recurring thing that you just can't shake, of wanting to step into better. And it can also be the sense of like you just feeling unfulfilled, like you just feeling a little bit complacent, but more so unsettled. Like there has to be more than where I am right now. That type of feeling. So yeah, like I know I was at one point where I just felt like I was just going through the motions, and I was going through the motions so much to where I was like, you know, this can't be life. You know how you hit those places and it's just like, this can't be, like, I know I'm not going to be here forever, but I also know I probably could have been out of this a little sooner if I would have been a little more proactive. It's gotta be more to life than this. And sometimes like when you are like in situations that don't excite you, or that just don't give you that fulfillment or feel like it's igniting your purpose, that can create that sense of just sparking a light bulb in your head of like, it better has to be somewhere in the vicinity. I don't care if it's down the street, a block away, baby. It's got to be somewhere in the vicinity. But yeah, and then stepping into that better, it's like, once you recognize it, so there's recognizing it, there's stepping into it, and then you also have like this hope and fear of the unknown, because now you're in that transitional period. So it's like, okay, I recognize that I want better. So now we have to actually step into it. Not taking that big toe and leaping that big toe forward so the rest of the foot can follow to step into better. It can be a lot. It can be a lot. But you have to, I think before you do that, you have to ask yourself, okay, well, what does better mean for me? What does it look like? What does it encompass? You have to ask yourself those type of questions, because you don't want to just like step into it aimlessly. Granted, there'll still be some things that you won't know about it, but you have to ask yourself, okay, I want to walk into this better season. I want to walk into a better season, the season that I've been expecting, the season that I've been prayerful over. So it's like, what does that look like? And not just what does that look like, what type of person do I need to be able to welcome that the way that I should, to where I can properly step into it. Because the worst thing to do is to be prayerful over something and then get it and mishandle it. Granted, there are some things where you pray about it and you step into it and God gives you wisdom through it. But I just don't want to do myself a disservice by praying over something and then being irresponsible with it once I step into it, you know? So you have to ask yourself, like, if you're praying for, let's go with money. Let's say you want better in the sense of like, you want better finance. You just want to be making more money. So it's like, okay, well, what type of person, like what the type of money that I want to make, what type of person stewards that money, right? So it's like, how does their day look? How do they manage their money? How do they budget their money? How do they save their money? Do they invest their money? Like, you have to ask yourself these questions. Otherwise, the money just gonna be sitting in your account, not growing, or you gonna blow all the money on. So it's like, you have to a degree, you have to ask yourself, what type of person has, or like, what does that version of me look like for the things that I aspire to have? And no matter the aspect, if it's a relationship, okay, like, I know this is the type of person I want to be with, but what type of person would be by the person that I want to be by me? You get what I'm saying? Like, what version of me would they need for the version that I want? Because 9 times out of 10, when we like desire these things and when we want better, it's higher than the current version than the current version of ourselves that we already are. The current version of ourselves that we already are. Same thing. Than the current version of ourselves. So you just have to think through, like, who am I when I get it? And what type of person am I when I get it? Because I'm going to be honest, it can't be the same. It can't be the same. Something going to get jacked up, something going to get messed up, and something is going to get blown, because it just can't. It doesn't add up. For you to step into better, there's going to be some aspect of your life in which you're going to have to internally be better. That's just, I feel like that's just a fact. But yeah, just making those practical steps and just like asking yourself, like writing that down, whether it's taking better care of yourself, whether it's having boundaries for those relationships, whether it's having boundaries with yourself so that you can better manage your money, manage your time, like if you want more than one stream of income, let's say that's your better. You want to go from one stream of income to 2 to 4 streams. Okay, well, you're going to have to manage your time better. So start managing your time better now as if you were to already have it. And granted, there's only a degree to which you can plan, but I also believe there's a practical way that you can plan to where you're not just aimlessly and lackadaisically going through the motions and just irresponsibly handling what you were blessed with. I've been there, done that, don't want to do it again. But yeah, and just trust the process, even the process of the internal work that you do and the internal work that God is doing within you, because it'll end up equipping you for that better that you trying to get to. And don't be in a rush to the better. That's for another episode. Talked about that in some other episodes, but also don't be in a rush. Like, that's just a side note. You'll get there in due time. Okay. So the other thing is like the coin of hope and fear of the unknown. So like being hopeful for better, but at the same time it's like, hey man, I don't know what is really over there. Like, you could be praying for them 2 to 4 streams of income, but you don't see like the pessimistic people it's gonna come with, the business headaches and the logistics it's gonna come with, to where once it gets to where you can run it on autopilot, like the things you have to get to before it gets to how it's supposed to be, you know. And I think we have to find that balance and not let the fear of the unknown keep us from being hopeful or keep us from moving into it. And I just feel like maintaining that hope is essential as you step into that new season. Yes, there will be fear of the unknown, but that hope has to override that fear. That faith has to override that fear. And don't get me wrong, it can be easy to get discouraged, especially when you don't know. While we have to be realistic too, because when we want these things and we act like it, we also have to realize that there's another side to acting like it. Like, yes, I want this better, but I'm also a little nervous because I don't know what's there. I've never seen it. I'm hopeful for it, but I'm also being hopeful for something that I haven't seen. But you can't let that, while that may get discouraging, you can't let it discourage you to the extent of you not walking into it. And and there's another thing too, it may not happen right away. That can get discouraging. So it's like I'm hopeful, but it's taking so daggum long. Like, why is this? I can't even begin to tell y'all the things that I'm expecting, that I've been expecting for a few years. Yeah. But and it's like I'm really having to learn how to maintain hope. And one thing about acting like it, there gonna be some times where you're gonna have to act like it for a long time, or you're gonna have to act like it for a season. You could be, let's say you're praying to, I'm gonna keep using the analogy of the 2 to 4 streams of income. Let's say you were hoping to have 4 streams of income by the time you were 32, and you're 31 and a half. You know what? Matter of fact, your birthday tomorrow, and you're still at the one stream of income. That can be extremely discouraging because I thought I was somewhere. I thought I would be somewhere, and while I'm still progressing, I feel like I'm still in the same spot, and that can be discouraging. And so I think, and I just think one thing we need to talk about more is like, how do we maintain hope? That's a question that I have too, and I believe part of it is keeping hope, maintaining hope in God, and just hope is something that it's not like, for me, I found there have been times where hope comes. Sometimes I get discouraged, and sometimes I just don't feel hopeful at all, because it's like this is taking too long. I thought I would have been there by now. I thought I would have been even well off, and it's like, do I still want to be hopeful for something that's just taking a long time? And for me, I can get impatient. I've worked on my impatience. I believe I'm a more patient person now, but there were times where I was just impatient. And it's like, how do I stay hopeful? Yes, we tell people to hope for better, and you're going to have better, so hope for it. And faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. What if it's not seen for some years? Tell me how to stay hopeful in that. And I feel like if we just, I want to do a better job of developing endurance in my hope. And I feel like that's what God has been teaching me too, like just this season period, because there are a few things that I know is coming. And there are a few things that are about to happen soon. But when I look back on it, if I would have had it my way, it would have been done when I prayed for it. It would have been done when I hoped for it. And that's just me keeping it a being. Like, sometimes you have to maintain hope, and that's me giving encouragement to somebody who you feel like, baby, Jada, I've been hoping all my life. Hope is my middle name. And you just feel like I'm hoping and hoping and hoping, and nothing is giving. And I just feel like, keep hoping, keep hoping, and keep enduring in the midst of hoping, and it'll all unfold how it's supposed to. And I'm saying that for myself too. And that just comes with just embracing God's plan for better, understanding his promises, understanding and two, like, one of the biggest things I've learned about God is God will real deal Holyfield never leave you. And I think another thing that I've been learning is, like, when I'm now starting to learn, like, when people say God's ways are higher than our ways and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts, I've realized that the most when it's come to his timing, because that's something that, while I find myself being able to rest in it, it's something I still do not understand. It's like, why are you giving this to me years from when I asked for it? Like, this better that I want, this better that I want to be, so that I can be better for you and for your glory. Why are you waiting umpteen years to give it to me? And it's like, y'all, some stuff I don't understand. And I feel like some stuff I find more peace not understanding, in the sense of, like, not thinking myself into a whirlwind of why God's timing is his timing, and just being at peace and knowing that when I get it in his timing, I will see why I had to wait. Not just wait the way I did, but wait how long I had to wait. It's ghetto. Don't don't get me wrong. It's ghetto. And I love God with all my heart. It gets ghetto. But it's going to be fine. Everything is fine. Everything will be fine. Everything will be completely fine. I just have to, I'm reminding myself, and I remind y'all too, to just continue to be hopeful and trust him, because, and I've said all of that to say these past few minutes, because I try to talk to y'all how I talk to myself, and I try to not be overly positive. Yes, I want to be positive, but I also don't want to be positive to the level of oblivion. And it's like, yes, there are things that I want. There are things that I strive to have. There are things that I want to be better at and internally want to be better at, and just better that I want. And those things take time. Like it's not like realizing things take time. It's not a negative comment, but it's just very matter of fact. Some of those things that we want, and some of those things that are that involve us wanting better and acting like we deserve the better, it takes time. It takes time to be molded into what you're praying for, to the better that you want. That doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't happen overnight. Some things that we walk into, they happen like that. But there are a lot of things, it just takes time. It just takes time. And I used to hate hearing that. And you know how when you know something, like when your mama tell you something and you know she right, but you don't want her to be right. And so you just be like, mm-hmm. But in the back of your head, be like, oh, she's right. That's one of those things. And I never want, yes, I want us to be mindful. Yes, I want us to be positive. Yes, I want us to talk to ourselves with grace and positivity and love. But I also want us to be like, hey, okay, yeah, but yeah, you know, you see how that different tone? Yeah, you gonna have better. But yeah, it's gonna take some time. Yeah, you want $1 million home, but yeah, Rome wasn't built in a day, but Rome was built. So that building hope, building endurance, building character, building integrity, building skill sets, building mental health, building your mental clarity, building your physical, building your wisdom, like those things take time. And that's incorporated into that's the other side of the better that I want us to, or that I wanted to mention, because I don't want to just say, oh, you deserve better, so act like it and just walk right into your blessing. Ooh. I mean, it's not like that. Yes, want better and act like it, and understand that you probably gonna be acting like it for a minute. That way you can become it. That way you can step into the better that you've prayed for, that God has for you. So, yeah. And another thing too, like, be prayerful over if it's better because of you or if it's better as a result of what God wants for you. Because I know there's been some stuff that I done prayed for that it was strictly for Jada. And I know God was just up in heaven sitting on his mighty beautiful bright throne looking at me like, girl. But yeah, just make sure that the better is rooted in the right thing. Um, And the other thing too, like, there may be some people who are afraid of stepping into better, and even though you want it, you're afraid to step into it. You're equipped for it. That's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, just recognize you deserve better. Recognize that you deserve better. For people that want better, that's another thing. Side note: sometimes everybody don't want better. Let's talk about that. Sometimes there are some people who are fine with where they are. But for me, I'm not trying to constantly be in the same. I'm not trying to be in the same place every season. Like I'm trying to constantly elevate. And I know there are times where you will have to, endure in a season. But overall, I'm trying to have an upward trend of growth. But yeah, recognize wanting better is one thing. But yeah, then recognizing it and then asking yourself what that looks like for you, but also checking in and being prayerful, like, hey, God, is this better from you, or is this better like rooted in what I want? Excuse me, y'all. What I want for me. Um, and yeah, just taking action in the sense of like being intentional and adopting and learning the habits of what you would need to do to have the character to step into what it is that it is that you want, right? Um, overcome fear and maintain that hope. And even if the hope and the fear both are in you, let that hope be a little more, even if it's just a little. Let that hope carry you through. Have endurance, have patience, and be hopeful, because you will eventually walk into it. There will be some things you may walk into right away, but there's like I said, there's a majority that you'll just have to endure along the way and take progress towards, because it's a process. Majority of the things in this ghetto life, this beautiful but ghetto life, I may say, is that it's a process. And so I encourage you to just take that first step towards your better season today. Be prayerful about it. And don't wait. Start now. You know what it is that you want. You know the things that God's placed on your heart. You also know the things that you're working towards. So start acting like the person who has it. And trust that God just has amazing things in store for you. Just trust it. Trust it and show him that the things he's equipped you with, that you can be a good steward over them by managing them properly and developing them properly. And that includes being prayerful over how to develop those things in you and surrounding yourself with people who can help you do that. Yeah, you deserve better. So act like it, bucko. Buckos and buckets. But yeah, you deserve better. Know that you deserve better and act like it. And I hope this I couldn't get my words out these past few minutes. Like I said, you deserve better. So act like it. I hope this episode helps somebody. I need to probably go back and listen to this so it can this is one I should go back and listen to. But yeah, yeah. I kid y'all not, I had a brain fart. I had a complete brain fart. I think that's my cue. I hope y'all are experiencing the better, and the better that you all are wanting. I hope that you'll take the time to become it and stay hopeful and stay mindful. And I love y'all, and I will see you in the next episode. You deserve better. So act like it, baby. I'll see y'all in the next episode. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Mindful Moments. I want y'all to remember this. Take it one step at a time. Know that you're capable. Know that you're worth it. Be intentional and know that everything you need to accomplish the things you want is already inside of you. But look, y'all, the podcast doesn't end here, okay? Be sure to follow me on Instagram and TikTok at O_Jada. That's O with 3 H's _JADA. You can see the visuals from past episodes and segments, and maybe even some teasers for upcoming episodes. And be sure to follow and like Mindful Moments on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, and even Google Podcasts. And as you go through your day, remember to be mindful of today in hopes for a better tomorrow. I'll see you in the next episode.